It's a riddle. Speak friend and enter. What's the Elvish word for friend?
Melon.
Soon, Master Elf, you will enjoy the fabled hospitality of the dwarves. Roaring fires, malt beer, red meat off the bone.
They're gonna show up. I'm telling you, the smoke's rolling. That Traeger smell is so good. Them baby backs are looking so good. It's gonna happen. Man, do you hear that? Look at here. They're coming. They're coming. We're gonna have a party.
I'm talking good old barbecue. Low and slow is tried and true. Smoking meat and sipping brews. Bring a friend, he'll bring a crew. I'm talking good old barbecue. It all starts with the rub. Busting out them bones and butts.
You need help.
Well, no, just. Oh, yes, honey, you're coming along just fine. I can see the bone.
Oh, it's about ready to pull out too. I could tell that.
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna.
Ooh, you got mac and cheese and beans.
Yep, and then this is 2 pork butts.
Oh.
And then this is the big 19-pound brisket.
You know I'm a butt man, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, I do. I know that all too well. So, okay.
So it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be really hard. And we're gonna have to work at this every day, but I wanna do that because I want you. I want all of you, forever, you and me, every day. Will you do something for me?
Well, the sauce that I make, and almost all the sauces I make, actually cook on better than being added to.
So it's better to cook them than to use them as a dry rub dip.
Right, you're better off to cook them on. They're prettier, they taste better, it brings out the flavor a whole lot more.
So what's your fuel source?
My fuel source today is hickory.
And it's real hickory, it's not lump charcoal.
No, it is real hickory that a guy cut down a log and filled my truck full, and I picked it up last Monday and put it in my house, and my stepdad split it down a little smaller, and that's what we've been using all day.
And your wood and lump charcoal does what to the meat?
It changes the color of it. The nitrates in the meat turn and make, I'm telling you, this hickory yesterday made such a beautiful smoke ring on those ribs. I was so impressed. The denser the wood, the better the smoke ring.
I want to video Kevin's meat, just go to the yeah, well, I already have, and I don't have his quick enough zoom. No, I'm good.
Did you get it?
All right, my friend Derek, what did you order?
I've never seen
I ordered the nacho plate.
What comes with the nacho plate?
He must.
It looks like
I can tell
a bit of everything. There's jalapenos and cheese, tomatoes.
Yeah. Ryan,
I got the
I
pulled
bonded
pork.
over. My mom was a
Looks like
principal
refried
guy,
beans.
right?
Refried beans. There's
We both
some
got in
lettuce
trouble
on there.
through my mom.
And we have to use this to absorb the alcohol, don't we?
He went to
We
like
do.
Greenbrier East.
Okay.
Come here, I'm gonna eat you! I'm bigger than you, I'm higher in the food chain! Get in my belly! Come on!
You like it? Good.
These are side chicks. They're full pieces, thighs and legs to look like wings, and they're made by cast iron smokers. But they use his own sauce. They're smoked, they're grilled, and then the sauce is cooked on. They look and smell divine. And this is his buffalo chicken sandwich with a side of coleslaw and his smoked mac and cheese, and I added hot sauce. Hot sauce goes on everything. It matches my personality. And this is Cast Iron Smokers baby back ribs, and I guarantee this is the best ribs in southern West Virginia. We're at Brew. Back there is the actual brewery part. Up here's where you drink your brews. It's an open style eatery, and in Germany it's called a beer garden, and it's very nice. They've got entertainment and some of the best home brew or micro brew in the area. I'll take a picture of that so that you can read it later.
Bartender, I really did it this time. Broke my parole to have a good time. When I got home, it was 6 a.m. The door was locked, so I kicked it in. She was tripping on the bills. I think she was high on some pills. She threw my shit out into the yard. Then she called me a bum and slapped me real hard. And in my drunken stupor, I did what I should have never done. Now I'm sitting here talking to you, drunk and on the run. I'm sitting at a bar on the inside, waiting for my ride on the outside. She stole my heart in the trailer park, so I jacked the keys to her fucking car and crashed that piece of shit, then stepped away. You know, Mo, I'll probably get 10 years, so just give me beers till they get here. Yeah, I know the sun is coming up, and y'all are probably getting ready for closing up. But I'm trying to drown my soul. I'm tired of this life on a dirt road, and everything that I love is gone. And I'm tired of hanging on. She got me sitting at a bar on the inside, waiting for my ride on the outside. She stole my heart in the trailer park, so I jacked the keys to her fucking car and crashed that piece of shit, then stepped Guess away. It was meant to be. Romance is misery, so much for memories, and now I'm headed to the penitentiary. See me on TV, the next cop series. I am a danger. I guess I should've did something about my anger, but I never learned. Real things that don't concern. I pour kerosene on everything I love and watch it burn. I know it's my fault, but I wasn't happy it was over. She threw a fit, so I crashed that piece of shit. And now I'm going back again, back to the pen to see my friends. And when we all pile out that county van, they're gonna ask me where I've been. I've been at a bar on the inside, waiting for my ride on the outside. She stole my heart in the trailer park, so I jacked the keys to her fucking car and crashed that piece of shit, then stepped away.
This is Cast Iron Smoker.
That's the funniest shit ever.
And Brew Brewery. And as you can tell, it's family friendly and very, very chill.
It don't
Just a
fucking
bunch of
matter,
people
but like
hanging
women
out,
are just so
having a good time.
complex. Like,
My name is Nathan Harold. I'm a co-owner and brewer here at Brew Works here in Fayetteville, West Virginia. We started this company back in 2010, so we've been in business just over 2 years.
While in Morgantown, I met my business partner, Nate, at what was then West Virginia Brewing Company. He was an assistant brewer there, and we really hit it off, and I thought that he had a great work ethic, which is really required in this industry.
I got my start as a home brewer back in 1995, and then was fortunate enough to be in Morgantown, and at the time become an assistant brewer at the West Virginia Brewing Company under the direction of Ned Strasser and Barrett Goddard up there. And that's where I met my business partner for Brew Works, Ken Lynch, who's also the, like I say, other co-owner and the brewer here. There's only 2 of us here. So this is the first step in the brewing process. This is the mill room here at Brew Works. What we do is we start with malted barley, and we get malted barley from all over the world. We get it from Europe and Scotland. And what malted barley is, it's barley that has been allowed to germinate for a few days, and then it's kilned, where it's actually dried. And what that process does, it makes the end product of that barley. It has sugars, soluble starches, and developed enzymes, which are essential in the brewing process to make a conducive environment and a healthy environment for the yeast to respire, reproduce, and produce alcohol and CO2. So there's literally hundreds of different kinds of malts that impart different flavors and flavor profiles into the beer depending on what you want your end product to be. The different varying levels of malt, most of it's just either dried or it's toasted or it's roasted. This is a type of Munich malt that imparts kind of some warm bread and biscuity notes, whereas when you start getting into your crystal malts, which are a little bit different, you can kind of see by the color, these impart more of caramel, toffee overtones. Your darker crystal malts will impart more like a plum, kind of raisiny overtones. And then your darkest malts, which would be your chocolate and your black malts, these guys are basically just put into a big coffee roaster, a big drum, and then kilned at higher temperatures. And these will impart chocolate, coffee. These mainly are what you would consider a colored malt. It gives beer its kind of depth. Use a lot of it in stouts, like I say, to adjust your color. In our brewing process, we use 600 to, like I say, 800 or close to 1,000 pounds of grist, depending on the alcohol content that we're looking for. So after that grain is milled, it's stored here in the grist case, and then it's augered up through this pipe into the mash tun, where the second phase of the process begins of
Doughing in, introducing the water to the grain. After that, essentially a lot of the process is then getting that maltose laden, what we call wort, out of the grain and into a brewing kettle.
Then we run that off into the brew kettle, where we boil it for 60 to 90 minutes, where we add our hops. And the hops, what they do is they offset the sweetness of beer with bitterness. From the boil kettle, we transfer it via pump through a heat exchanger to get it down to a pitchable temperature into any one of these fermenters. where the yeast is added and where it converts those sugars into CO2 and alcohol.
Getting it down to a temperature that the yeast will thrive in, and from there it depends on whether or not you want to filter the beer to make a nice brilliant beer, or maybe you're making a stout where it's dark enough that you really don't need to filter it.
After our process of brewing is complete, what we do with our spent grain after we do our runoff into the boil kettle, we have 600 to 800 pounds of grist, which for us is really no use for us. So we have a gentleman by the name of Eric Taylor from Greenbrier County, from Wolf Song Ranch, who comes in and picks up our spent grain to feed to his livestock.
We got in contact with Nathan and Ken. We raised a heritage breed of pig. It's a critically endangered breed. It was feral for about 500 years. Originally dropped off by the Spaniards. Anyway, so we raised them and we looked into alternative feeds, and I was a craft beer drinker anyway. So it came to our attention that brewing grain was a really great feed for pigs. And we were trying to get away from the GMO corn thing anyway. So we called these guys up. They were down the list, and a lot of breweries are already supplying farmers with grain. And it's an incredible feed. It saves us a huge amount of money.
So we swap out some spent grain. He uses it, like I say, as feed. So we swap out spent grain for some pork and other deliciousness.
We've been able to provide them with pork that's fed their brewing grain, and it's been great working with these guys, and it's really great to be feeding something that's a byproduct of something where it otherwise wouldn't be used.
We are essentially hand bottling our product and hand capping it, and almost hand labeling it also, a very labor intensive process. We tend to only do small batches of say 6 barrels or so at a time, which is about a full pallet of cases of beer, maybe 100 cases at a time or so. One of the big questions that we always get is, how long does it take to make a beer?
A batch of beer, to the time that it finally gets out on the street and is in keg form, we're looking at anywhere from 2.5 weeks to over a month, sometimes 6 weeks, depending on what we were making. Some of our bottles, like our barley wines, will typically age for 6 to 9 months before they are released to the public.
Thank you for coming along on our tour, and sorry you can't sample the beer through a virtual tour, but there's plenty of places that you can buy Bridge Brew Works, and please enjoy.